A couple years ago, I actually found out about this comic book and I was going to buy it. A bunch of things happened. Not going to get into that. But I got to go to a comic convention, drove over to the Daytona Beach Comic Convention, and got this book right here, Trump's, autographed by Roland Mann himself, comic book industry veteran. I actually bought a couple of them. I bought all of the issues that are out now, Trump's 1, 2, and 3 and 4. Now, before you get the wrong impression, this is a tale of intrigue, and it's based around a kingdom where the different playing card decks are the different kingdoms. It's a great idea. You know, one of the things I was thinking as I read this, and this is just, look, this is my opinion. Your mileage will vary. You might have a different opinion. Roland Mann's mind, and by the way, I interviewed him about 2 years ago. I'll find a video. I'll try to find a video and post a link to the video in the description of the video. And intriguing man to talk to. I'll try to have him again on a podcast, and I'll actually try to get some of his artists. He said they'd be open to do it and interview some of those guys. I think, let me see. Let me get, I want to get the names right. Anthony Pereira, who inked this book, or penciled this book rather. The inker is Thomas Florimonte. I think that's how you say his name. Colorist, Sid VenBlu. Letterer, Brian Dale. They all did a good job. Not just a good job, quality job. But the standout for me in this book, and the art was good. You already know how I feel about art. If I don't like the art at all, if I think the art is just not good, I'm not going to be able to finish the book. The art and the colors fit the story. They're all good. The story stood out because it felt like, okay, Trump's feels like what Disney used to create. Sort of like, it reminded me in some ways, and this is going to sound strange, and Roland, I don't know if this is what you were going for, but it is like a mix of Game of Thrones meets The Wizard of Oz and intersects with Alice in Wonderland. Now, you might think to yourself, how do all of these things meet? It's the creative nature of the book itself and how this is laid out. This, like, I remember when he told me the premise of this book, and I was like, oh, I think I'm going to buy that. This time around, we got to the comic convention. I knew he was going to be there. Me and my son talked to him, my youngest son, we talked to him for probably around, I don't know, it had to be like 40 minutes. And probably more. We talked about a myriad of things. This is a man who loves comic books. And I'm telling you, people like this need to be supported. Because people like this have the ideas in their mind and the know-how to bring to the comic book industry what is needed. When I was young, a younger man, a book like this would have probably caught my attention, but I wouldn't have necessarily gravitated toward it because it's very unique. But the story is so good and so filled with intrigue. This is the thing about books like this. To a young mind who would read a book like this, you will develop complex thoughts. A lot of reading today is geared toward shock value. This story is extremely thoughtful. I want to just give you this first opening panel and show you something, because this is what I mean about this being such a good book, such a great idea. I read the first one. I'm going to read the other ones. I like savoring books. So I read this first one and I thought to myself, I am going to savor these other books and I'm going to take a week, soak this one in, probably read the next one this week, soak that one in, and so on and so forth. Because, okay, I'm not a card guy. I've never been big on playing card games, and my assumption is that if you're a card player, a lot of things in this book will hit with a little more oomph. I could tell there were certain things because I've never been much of a card player that I probably missed. I probably looked at it and was like, I don't know what this means, what this is getting to. So probably doesn't mean anything, but I think some of these things actually mean a lot. Okay, it says, it's not a very pretty world. Its inhabitants simply call it the deck. The deck is home to the four suits, the four kingdoms of power. Time on the deck is measured in hands, and a new hand follows every shuffle. And then you see some dialogue here. They're massing for an assault. Everyone get ready. Peace briefly follows the shuffle when a new suit of power is chosen. That suit is called trumps. This is such a great idea. And the reason I said to myself, this would be something that at the height of Disney, they would have hired somebody like Roland Mann to take this and create an epic. And it would have been epic. These were the kind of ideas that came out of Disney maybe 20, 25 years ago. It was stuff like this. And I could tell Roland is a veteran of storytelling, because this was a story that a kid could read and enjoy it, but an adult could read and understand, oh, there's a lot of underlying intertwined ideas, not agendas, but ideas, big picture ideas that will get you to think about what's going on. Like I said, there's backstabbing, there's intrigue, there's like a double cross element to this. It was really good. It was really good. I enjoyed this read. I wanted to show you some of the panels. I'm not going to spoil everything in the book, but there was some good panels. There was some good panels, a lot of good stuff going on. I really liked, let me see. There's a couple of panels that I was like, oh yeah, the action is definitely there. Like I said, action-packed backstabbing. This panel right here, that last panel, I really liked. I really like this. I think Anthony Pereira did a magnificent job bringing Roland Mann's idea to fruition in visual form. Again, I remember when he first told me the premise of this, and I don't know if all of the books were out at the time. Obviously, you see, I got him to autograph my books. And forgive me, Anthony, I meant to walk over to the table and get you to autograph these books as well. And me and my son started walking around. I got hungry, got thirsty, and never made it back to the table. But Lord willing, at some point, I'll be able to get you to autograph my books. Maybe, the next show, if you're there, I'll bring it, get you to autograph. But man, it's seldom that a new book comes along that has a nostalgic retro feel, but doesn't try to push nostalgia down your throat. It wasn't like, hey, let's make a nostalgic book. It was, let's make a traditional comic book with an intriguing story, quality art, and engage the audience from all angles. Yeah, like I'm reading and I'm like, oh, I think I'm missing something because I'm not a card player. So this book has me looking at terms and going, okay, I'm going to go look up some card games and some different terms that are used because I know I missed some stuff. But it didn't make you feel like you were dumb or you lacked something because you missed this stuff. It makes you want to go look and see, oh, I think I missed something. It's rare that a writer can do that, can get you to understand that they might have said something you missed, but you don't feel bad, and it just makes you want to dig more. So I'm excited to read these next books. I'll show you the other covers. I don't know if I showed all of them. That's number 2. I don't know why I got number 4 first. That's number 4. And that's number 3. Yeah, this is a good book. This is well worth your money, worth the read. It's unique in the sense that it's a completely, I would have never thought to do this. Like, I don't know where Roland Mann's mind went that this story rummaged around in his head, but this is good. Like I said, I think this is like, man, sometimes I wish I could be in charge of a company like Disney, because I would find things like this and I would go to Roland Mann and say, we don't want to take your idea. We don't want to strip you of the rights of this. Can we license this and somehow make an epic through Disney, an epic cartoon and a traditional cartoon too? I love 3D animation. But I love traditional cartoons. I love traditional art. And I think this is the type of thing that this should be more popular. This book should be more popular. Is this for several reasons? I'm not going to say there's not any adult themed things in this book, because there are some adult themed items in this book, but not items that wouldn't generate a healthy conversation with a kid. Now, I'm not telling you to let your kid run wild, grab the book, let your kid run wild. I would buy the book, thumb through it yourself, see what you see. And this might be a good read for, I'd say 13 and up. Yeah, I'd say safely 13 and up. It's a good book. This is a good book. I really felt like I was reading something that is bigger and should be bigger than what it is. Forgive me for taking so long to get to this book for this review. Can't even get my words out. Trumps is a good book and a good idea. There are still people out there that know how to tell stories and know how to tell them very well. And Roland Mann is one of those people.